running game's ability to kind of find ways to get yardage without going up the middle, which is kind of your strong suit throughout the season.
Yeah, because not only are they big up front, and they drop the safety, 2-by-1 sets, they drop the safety weak side, so we knew it would be tough treading in the early part of up the middle. So we wanted to go kind of 3-by-1, 2-by-2 to kind of spread them out a tiny bit and try to hit some gaps. But again, they're big, 300-pound nose guard, and 6'6", 260 DN. It's like facing these guys next to me. In practice, it's a nightmare, and so we just had to find ways to kind of get it done. And I was talking to Joe right when the game ended. We got a lot of freshmen and talented freshmen, but every time we do something, it's for the first time, So a few of the adjustments we made, they did a good job of getting downhill and just tried to get those ugly yards, as we call them.
Joe, you finished with over 300 yards passing. They had a very good secondary, a lot of pass defenses on their side. Why were you able to be so successful against this secondary that was one of the better secondaries in the country this year?
The guys around me, I think our receivers go up and make plays just with the best of them, and our offensive line has played great from the Ithaca game in Week 2 on. Protection has been great, so I just want to give those guys a chance every time, and they went up and made plays today.
Joe, walk us through the touchdown and started up, put up 7-0.
So we went on RPO at the post, and we didn't end up throwing it. I think we went a couple plays, we went right back to it. We had hub on the post, we wanted to go tempo. I think we handed off inside zone, 15, 20 yards there, and it was, I think, first and goal from the 5. We went zone read, the end crash. I kept them. We were up 7-0. Unfortunately, the next couple of drives stalled, but it was good to go out there on the first drive and start the game off.
Matt, you talk about a team came in over 180 yards a game rushing. What were some of the things you tried to do defensively to slow that team down, and you were obviously successful doing that?
Well, first of all, that's always our number one goal, the defense, to stop the run. We think that's really the most important part of being successful. It comes down to the guys up front. Our D linemen, they're always stunting around, and we got big athletic guys up there, so we liked our matchup today, but that's always the main point in our defensive philosophy, just to stop the run.
Austin, Rufus Russians, he is big as he looks. I
think he's bigger than what he looks. He's
a big kid.
He was a big kid. But hell of an athlete. But stopping him on the goal line, I think that was a great achievement for us, because you already know coming in, he already had 14 rushes coming in for the touchdown. So stopping him, only letting him get one pretty much, but the rest of the time shutting him down.
Were we yelling Rufus on the sideline? Yeah. I feel like I've heard that name a couple times, so now we don't watch offensive film, so now I know where Rufus came from. Okay. We got a name for the big fullback. That's good.
Yeah, so Coach Mangoni, can you walk us through how do you feel about how the defense played this year? Because looking at my stats here, I noticed this team that you guys just beat Framingham, they beat Plymouth State, who you beat last year 6-0. It was a whole different outcome of today's game, so what can you say as a result of it?
About our defense?
Defense, how they played it so far. We thought it was going to be bluff. It was different.
Yeah, awesome. I don't even know. It's trying to talk to our guys a little bit today. Since the game ended, there's 250 teams to start the season off. There's 16 left. And a few years ago, we're talking about trying to win a Courage Bowl, and now I don't want to say upset about winning a game by 14 points. And who are we? This senior class, and I kind of praised them a little bit the other day, is they came here after a 5-5 season, and they believed in the vision that we set forth and are taking this program to another level. But at no point right now do we think we're invincible, and our defense played outstanding. That last play that Framingham ran, I'm going to have to watch that 15 times to figure out what even happened, because the ball went 17 different directions. And I think what the rush defense, as Maddie has said, that's our goal every day, stop the run every week, and we've done that. And I thought we played great today. Obviously there's a lot of things we want to clean up in all aspects, but I think that was a good football team that some people were touting, well, Brockport's just going to win because of the 1 seed. Why? Right? Everybody right now is good. And I was telling Joe this a little earlier, I've been part of 2-8 football teams that you've got to play coach and cheerleader. And thankfully we don't got to do that anymore. But I thought our defense played great. And you know, we put them in some bad positions today as an offense. We've got to clean that stuff up. But you know, we get ready, refocus, and move on to who?
RPI.
RPI. There you have it. Did they score that game?
34-10 they said, right?
34-10?
No, it was
38-14.
38-14. So we get ready for RPI.
Joe, DeQuan had that drop early in the game, and then you used him as a way to answer right back after a score coming into the second half there. Talk about your relationship with him and that confidence that you have in him to go right back after a big drop that probably would have been 6 to go in that wound up being a big touchdown.
Yeah, well, he's an elite receiver and he's an elite talent. And this year he's been working day in, day out, just trying to improve his hands and just route running ability. So he's working with his individual coach, and he prays himself on just getting better every day. And he did a great job responding to that, because not a lot of kids would just be able to just respond like that. And he flushed it, let it go, and then he just made a big play. So that was a big answer, because it was, I think, they 24/7. I had an interception there, and we just answered right back. So that was big for our team.
Coach, they started the game going underneath routes for first downs pretty much like every third down in the first drive, and then as the game went on, they started going deep on you. Was there an adjustment you made to take away the underneath routes? They didn't just keep going to that all game?
Yeah, I think the first thing that we expect teams to sort of throw the ball early because of these guys, right? I mean, at some point, you can't hold the ball too long. And so I think we're kind of accustomed to having teams get the ball out of their hands fast, whether it be on the outside flats or underneath drag routes. And then I think the score, you know, definitely didn't get out of hand by no means, but it got enough where, okay, 3, 4, 5, 7-yard drags are not going to add up enough to come back fast enough. So they start throwing the ball downfield. And I want to give credit to our DBs. You know, I think we had Vern Smith play today. A freshman hasn't played that much all year. You know, we had a few little minor injuries where guys couldn't go back in. You know, Hernandez was in there, obviously a lot. You know, we had 3 freshmen in the backfield in our secondary almost the whole second half. When you add Marshall into it, even though he's played a few games, he's still a freshman. So when you look at it, you know, we got freshman tailbacks, we got freshman fullback, freshman tight end, 2 freshman safeties at one point, freshman corner. I was like, man, you know, we've got a lot of young guys out there, but they're talented enough where they stepped in and played well.
Coach, your offense was extremely aggressive on the outside, going downfield, throwing the ball. Was there something you game planned for throughout the week, or was this an in-game adjustment that you guys made?
We knew it from the get-go. We want to take shots. You know, we want to be aggressive. I think in all 3 phases, and I think defensively we see it just because all the pressure that we bring. And offensively, sometimes the 2 ways you can be, you know, aggressive is play up tempo and throw the ball downfield. We have athletes. You know, Benson and Hubbard can run by just about most guys. So we thought we could do it, and you know, we hit some and we missed some. We wish we had back, but ultimately we're going to take shots all game, every game.
Coach, I mean, a couple weeks ago, Cortland, you had a couple pump block, and then it seemed like Framingham was starting at their own 45 with the kick returns today. Is that a concern for you going forward with your special team?
Absolutely, and just from the standpoint that we can't spot people with the ball at the 45, you know, and I'm going to take away for it because we had a really crazy week of weather this week, and we went inside for the first hour and outside for the second hour, and maybe overlooked a little bit on our special teams in the sense that we were inside doing it, not on the turf, and that has to change because obviously we got to fix some things, and you're not going to win too many football games by spotting the other team's offense in the 45-yard line every time. We wish we had it in the 45-yard line every time, which we have almost all season, but it's a lot easier to score points when you're going half field.
Another thing, Coach. I mean, Mount Union put up 60 today. St. John's put up 60. You guys go undefeated, yet you drop. And I know you don't really care about the standings very much because it's playoffs now. Do you feel that because there's names like Mount Union, Mary Hardin, Baylor, St. John's, do you feel Brockport doesn't get any respect in these playoffs?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really worry about it too much, and that's not even cliche-ish. I don't really care. You know, I worry about RPI right now. We were worried about Framingham all week. Because at the end of the day, you're going to end up, if you follow on track, probably playing just one of those teams, or maybe 2 at the most. So it's great. They're good teams. They've recruited well for a long time. They've had success for a long time. And we're just trying to do the best that we can. And all we can do right now is go out and prepare for RPI.
Coach, you got the holiday coming up on Thursday, game obviously on Saturday. What's your weekend look like this week?
Yeah, so we'll have Monday, Tuesday school, same as always, and then Wednesday we'll go a tiny bit earlier because we're going to feed the team on Wednesday night, and then Susan Hoffman's done a phenomenal job preparing all this stuff, and then Thursday we go a little bit earlier. We'll have a Thanksgiving meal as a team, and then the kids that are local will be able to go off to their homes if they want, and probably bring a guy or two with them. And then Friday, status quo, just no class. I hope these guys in their off time will kind of get ahead of their studies a little bit and take advantage of that downtime.
Joe, with you guys, really all three of you guys having done this last year, do you feel better prepared going into a week that's a little bit unconventional as opposed to what you were last year going into a similar situation?
Yeah, I said it last year. It reminded me of how camp was. We're basically the only team on campus, so it's neat where you're going to the dining hall. It's just us. So it's, again, we said earlier in the week it was part 2 of our season, and there's another example of it being part 2. It's just us, and we have 1 win down, and I said it's a 5-game season, so part 2 starts Saturday, and it doesn't really affect us. I like the week personally. I think it's neat.